One of the truly greatest seasons of television I've ever seen, Shogun, has just come to its conclusion. Now, as a guy who has had two shows that I have been looking forward to passionately over the past couple of years.
Brilliant.
One was Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. I was like tripping over myself. I was so excited about that.
How'd that
film.
pan out for you?
Not so great as it turns out. Not as good as I had hoped.
I say that as a huge apologist for this show.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. But my expectations and my hopes were way high, and it did not meet them. So now Shogun was coming along, and I had to start to wonder myself, am I about to have another Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power situation where I've been dying for this show for almost my whole life? I've been waiting for this show to come. And then it finally comes, but it ticked every box. It exceeded every expectation and truly became one of the greatest seasons of television I've ever seen. And I absolutely adored it. Well, now the questions become, a lot of discussion going along, do they do a season 2? Or is it, as a matter of fact, as they called it, a limited series? Because after all, they covered the book. Season 1 covered the book. They're done. Right down to the last episode there when John Blackthorne is dreaming about a future where he gets to grow old, become an old man, and have grandkids back in merry old England. It's done. But the problem is, they said the same thing about Joker. But when something reaches incredible success, it makes you kind of rethink, maybe, how you should look at it. Well, the guy at the Hollywood Reporter, one of the writers of the Hollywood Reporter, decided to straight up ask the folks over at the guys who wrote, the couple that wrote the Shogun for television, said this, here's the inevitable question. Season 2, is it going to happen? One of the writers says, I don't know. I keep saying it's like we want to let everyone be on the same page when it comes to the book. And hopefully now the TV audience and the book audience are on the same page with what the story is and where it resolves. I think if we had a story, if we could find a story, we would be open to it. But I don't think that anyone ever wants us to be out over their skis without a roadmap and everything. And it's also just about, do people want more of it? All right. Well, obviously, like the Hollywood Reporter writer says to the question, do people want more of it? The answer is yes, the Hollywood Reporter writes. And clearly the answer is yes. This season, I have yet to talk to anybody that actually watched the whole season that doesn't not just like it, but absolutely loved it. I'm sure there are people out there who didn't like it. I'm sure there are. I'm saying I haven't spoken to anybody who saw the series and didn't love it. It is a phenomenal work of television. So the question will now come. Will the brilliance of the season stand as an argument as to why you should not make another season, or stand as an argument to why you should? And I will say this as a Clavel novel purist, they abso-damn-lutely should make another season of this. They absolutely should. Because let me take you to the worst case scenario, okay? Worst case scenario. They make a season 2 and it sucks. Guess what? Contrary to horrendously stupid belief, making a bad second film or a bad second season of television does not take away from a good first one. The first one is still as good as it ever was. You sit down, you watch it. Yeah, maybe you think, I hate where this went later on, but it doesn't matter. The movie itself stands. It's great. I loved Rush Hour 2. Rush Hour 3 sucks. Did it take away 1 ounce of how much I love Rush Hour 2? Not at all. So just want to get that part out of the way. These writers have done a phenomenal job with this franchise and just did some things that I didn't think that was going to be possible for them to do. And to see the continuing story now of Toranaga and John Blackthorne and all that kind of stuff and see where they go from there, how they get to the envisioning, to the manifestation of Toranaga's dream. I want to see all that play out. Like Sonata himself has said, we have real history that we can draw from. If we want to do season 2, we've got actual Japanese history that we can draw from and bring to life. So I think, guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Liquid IV. You know, summer is just around the corner, and Anna and I have some of our favorite activities coming up, from hiking, swimming, going camping. But in order to do all that, you gotta stay hydrated, because you need hydration that keeps up with every moment. Just a single stick of Liquid IV makes ordinary hydration extraordinary. And for me, preparing a glass is the easiest thing in the world. Simply open up a packet, pour it into your glass of water, and enjoy. And guys, there's a reason that Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America. It has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. Just tear, pour, and live more. Just 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. With 8 vitamins and nutrients, non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. There's no artificial colors or sweeteners, and it's got 4 delicious sugar-free flavors: white peach, green grape, raspberry melon, and lemon lime. So turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code Campea at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code Campea at liquidiv.com. Chris, here's my thought.
Okay.
I think they are going to, for a little while, sit on this. But I think within about 4 months, we're going to hear an announcement they're going to do a season 2. And I believe it's that absolute right thing to do. There are others who disagree. What do you think they should do?
I love that was set up as, there are others who disagree. Are you one of those?
No. Not
Wow.
like that at all.
I come back and this kind of energy. Goodness. So I have to be honest. I am only 4 episodes into Shogun. I made the brilliant mistake this weekend of, Shogun's something I have to be so focused on. I'm going to double feature Rebel Moon. Which was terrible. And then I was like, I should watch something kind of lighter. Let's try this baby reindeer show.
Oh, yeah. Also, not so light.
Oh my gosh, no. I had to take so many laps around the house. But I will say, I've really enjoyed this show so much so that I went ahead and bought the book. I'm really, really into it. There is so much history that you can draw upon. I think you can absolutely explore so much of feudal Japan and go into so many other stories. But sometimes I do like when something just ends and it's perfect and that's all we get of it. Sometimes I like that. I don't need more of something that's perfect if it's going to be fine. And I only say this because, everyone always talks about Heroes, a show that had the best first season.
Yeah.
But then we always talk about the stank of all the others.
Right.
That cloud, that fart cloud is always around it. And I don't want that for something like Shogun, which is so beautiful and cinematic and just masterfully done. So if they do another one, I just have really high expectations. And I'm saying that as somebody, again, who hasn't even finished the season because I've been so enthralled with what they've done. It's just so intense.
But I will say to your point, about the stench about Heroes and all the stench of the other seasons. And yet we still talk about Heroes season
That's
1
fair.
being absolute brilliance, which
That's
means
fair.
it didn't tarnish the thing. You see, normally I'm a little bit different on this one because normally when I think of continuations, right? Normally I want good narrative purpose to continue on a drama, but with comedies, I'm more loose with that. I don't care what the story is. I found the characters you made really fun, really funny. I just want to hang out with those characters again for another hour and a half, please. With Shogun, I feel a little bit of a mix of the two because I love the Toranaga character so much. I will watch an entire season of him just eating soup. Just give
Quality
me,
TV.
just give me that, and I'm fine. Have like John Blackthorne's continuing improving Japanese, just having frustrating conversations with Toranaga. I'm in. I just want to hang out. I want to see Toranaga walking through a Edo village and everybody stop what they're doing and bow. I want to see the pageantry and the horror and the beauty. And if it ends up being bad, it's bad. That's okay. You took a swing and you missed. But I would really love for them to go back to this again. And you know what? To your point, though, I will be perfectly fine if they stop. If they stop, it was great. I've got this new season of television that I can go to and watch for the rest of my life if I want to. But I kind of hope they do another one. But, that's just me.
I think with this kind of a series, because season 1, let's just say it was just not season 1, but Shogun, ended because the book ended, so it has a conclusion. So if season 2 were to not be as great, you could have that argument like with Heroes, where you can go back and just watch it because it has a conclusion. But I don't go back and watch season 1 of Heroes because it was supposed to continue on to something conclusive, and it didn't. Like, it fell short of that. I would go back and continue to watch season 1 of Shogun because it ended where the book ended. So I think that's the only difference for me.
Guys, question is for you. What do you think about it? Shogun was like one of the greatest seasons of television I've ever seen, but it has a definitive end. Should they now just leave it as that and enjoy the triumph? Or should they take a risk and try doing another one? There's arguments to be made for both sides. I personally would like to see them do it. Good arguments for why they shouldn't. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.